We live. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone as well. Just bear with me here. We are live.
Evening, everyone.
Yeah, hello guys.
Hello, Alki.
Hello again.
Oh, where'd I go?
Uh-oh, did you lose? We're live, we're running.
Oh, I see. Tech savvy, I am not. We already know this. We do this every single month. Hello, I am Miss Nudie Grows. This is Hydro Hustlers, and I am just getting us online. We barely do it. It took us 6 months to figure it out, and we have little hiccups, but we are early, so it's fine. I'm going to let Casey get started with some introductions, and I'm going to get the rest of it set up.
Evening, everyone. I'm Honey Bear Casey. I'm a grower from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in the United States. I am a cultivator and a seed junkie and love popping seeds, and that's how I got to meet tonight's guest and asked him to be part of tonight's show. So I'd like to introduce everyone to Luke from Omuerta Genetix. He is an amazing breeder in my mind, and I thank him very much for being on. Thank you, Luke.
Hola. Thank you very much for having me.
Luke, we're very excited. We almost didn't make it online because he was captivating us in the Zoom, just telling us some stories. We were just getting off to snakes and stuff. So how about we do an introduction first? You can introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Luke. I go by OG. I own and run Omuerta Genetix with the help of quite a large, loyal fan base of soldiers we like to call the Army. Specialize in probiotic seeds, no chemicals. The only bottle in this house is a pH down bottle. Everything else, we amend the soil and then do water. I specialize in doing filial generations. So I'll do F1 polyhybrids. I'll hunt the F2s out of them, send them out for testers for the year prior. And as feedback rolls back, I either revise them into a later filial generation or we shelf them and go on to something else. Ta-da!
That's cool stuff, man. That's breeding. That's your lifer. We were just talking too that it's a lifestyle, right? And that is your life. Part of it. Your other passion is snakes and reptiles and breeding.
Yeah, maybe I learned genetics on reptiles, on snakes in particular, breeding for patterns, breeding for morphs and colors. And cannabis was a mistake, not a mistake, but an accident. Cannabis was an absolute natural accident to fall into. I was working as a welder and a fitter. I was doing snake shows. I was breeding bulls and fawns, really big Burmese and huge stuff, more to shock and awe people. And I was doing snake shows. At the time, I was living far away from any of my friends due to this welding job. And I didn't want to drive down the highway for 2 hours every couple of days, score a bag for $200 off of bread. Yeah, So I grabbed some seeds from a magazine, the old cannabis cultures that were around, 25 years ago, and started toiling away in my basement. And found out you had males and found out you had females, and the snakes, they take a long time. They take 2 months to cool. They take 2 months to introduce them, have them lock, and 2 months to either incubate babies or to gestate eggs. And then once the eggs are hatched in pythons, another 2 months to incubate them outside of the mother before they finally hatch and you find out what you have. So you're looking at least months. It's to be on it quite a while, Whereas a cannabis plant, the life cycle was 90 days. From seed to when it was down, it was an instant gratification. And you could see exactly what you had right there. You could walk into the room and there was no waiting. There was no, it didn't come to you in a little package that you had to unzip and open up and finally go, okay, all my work six months later achieved this, or I failed. In the plants, they let you see along the way that you're doing well or you're failing. In my life, at the time, I suffer mental illness. Okay, I don't keep it a secret. I suffer post-traumatic stress syndrome, traumatic stress disorder, and extreme anxiety. This is the first podcast I've done in about 10 years. I've been asked many. I usually turn them down. My social media is not connected to the who's who of the grow industry. I don't give a shit. Really. I'm not after the hype stuff. I kind of dance to my own beat. I would do this without owning a seed company because I look at this as my own medication. The act of being in rooms with the plants is my Zen spot. The white noise, the whirring of the fans, it lets everything melt off me. I don't have to think anymore. My body goes into an auto flow state where it's just doing. I'm not thinking about how much mixtures I'm mixing or what leaves I'm pruning. I'm just doing it. And before I know it, 3-4 hours passed. I'm relaxed. I come out in a totally different mood. So
That's so relatable that you're saying that. I think there's many viewers also that can relate to that.
And they can. And the thing is, you don't realize it until afterwards. And it took many years of doing this to look back and go, God, there's something in that. Especially with an anxiety or my mental illness is loss. Okay, I'm alone. I live with a dog. I have a service dog. I've got a lot of loss in my life. Going in and showing a plant attention or love or giving the best of your ability and going back the next day and seeing that it's grown 3 inches and the leaves are up and it's happy and it's just tuned in, it's on to the environment that you've given it, it's dialed into the love you're giving it in the soil. That is a special relationship, symbiotic relationship, and it actually builds my own self-esteem. It's almost like getting a hug or being told good job or a pat on the back. It's something that's tangible and that I can see. And it depends wholly on me. And if I slack that day, it's going to let me know, So
yeah, that's usually what I say. You snooze, you lose.
Yeah. That's why I say this has become part of my lifestyle. I mean, I have not found something that does this for me. I was a jiu-jitsu athlete for a long time, and that came close. The fact that you're rolling with men and women that you just meet and you form some sort of a bond where you're putting yourself in a position where they can physically hurt or kill you, but you're trusting them to feel the tap and let you go, and then you're going to do it back. And you form a friendship. I mean, I've got friendship with a couple of guys still from jiu-jitsu that are lifelong because of that bond. And I've never felt that again until plants and my dog, So It's something that I've turned into a betterment. It's something that helps my life on a daily basis. Calm me, lets me think, and lets me think about myself. Because once I start tuning into why do plants calm the beast? Why do I get that self-esteem pat or nudge off of that? It makes me think about more things in my life. And if I can really cut myself down and be my own worst critic, there's nobody else is going to ever have a reason to smash me. You know, quality.
It's also about purpose, right? You want to have a purpose, and the plants give you a good purpose. And I know growing isn't for everyone, but I'd say that I'd rate the gardening at 60%, man. That's like the smoke is like the 40%, but the 60% of it is like being able to do it. I mean, I couldn't imagine myself in a world where I wasn't allowed to do this.
Like, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head for me. And purpose is exactly, you know, I'm 46. I've been an athlete. You know, I've been a prisoner. I've been a father. I've been a worker. I've been all these things, a snake breeder. I've been all these things. And through life and loss, you lose these things. And, you know, a couple of years ago, around my 40s, I was sitting there going, I'm about to turn a big one. And I was all these things. And what am I now? You know? And people say, oh, you're a breeder, you're this, you're that. That's for the title. And respectfully, I thank you, but that's the title that you will give me to explain what I do. I'm just a guy who plays in it. And honestly, I am very humbly grateful every day, every night when I lie my head on the pillow, that people are following what I do, appreciate what I do, and want to support me, because this is all I do. So without you guys, the ship doesn't float. That's why you'll always get my best work. You know, that's why you'll always be able to talk to me. You send an email. It's why I'm the guy that runs my Instagram, you know, and if somebody can learn from my experience, great. If somebody can grow excellent weed that helps them with their own demons, that's even better. What more can you ask for? I'm living the dream, you know?
Yeah, man. There's all this relatability going on in the chat. I know you're not reading it, but there's a lot of support in the chat, and people are like, yeah, because you get it. We all get it.
Yeah.
You know, a part of Omuerta Genetix is a brand experience, and you know, I wanted to do something for the people that support me, because it feels like a big hug. You know, I don't eat and I don't pay my rent unless somebody decides that they're going to forego the big boys that they've heard all about and all these hype strains and come to me and trust me. And that holds a lot of water. So in that, I always try and help the beginner. I have got a lot of time for the guy who wants to grow a photoperiod seed and the transition from autos or dams, or who has never grown before, who wants to jump back into the hobby after 10 years away. You know, that's why my tagline is "We build soldiers." It's to add another to the army. When you join us, you know, I've got a blog on my website. We've got a great Facebook fan page with all the same guys and ladies in the same frame of mind that want to grow extraordinary connoisseur grade marijuana and want to have a tribal vibe about it. And that's what I try. You know, I don't have to do much because we've got such great fan members. I mean, I'm sure there are some in the chat, and they're great people. You know, they've been supportive from day one, and I can't say enough. You know, I'm humbly thankful.
And us soldiers are thankful for you. I've never experienced getting seeds the way that I got seeds from you. So I'm grateful for that. You didn't know me from a hole in the ground. You were right on top of sending me the seeds. I didn't even fear that my money was going to get stolen or anything like that, which a lot of new people have those fears with seed people. You were just very accommodating, very approachable. And also with the, like, if you have any questions later, or like even just how nice you are when I show you my little plants, you know, like it's just people appreciate that extra effort. And so you have built this community. And now these people, including me, can feed off of each other and learn things and have, you know, a great mentor.
I appreciate that. I really care what you're getting. I don't use a seed counter. Every single seed I pick, I dump out the vat. You know, I've got it in cold in the fridge. I dump out the vat and I go through every single one and I load the vials. And if I wouldn't be happy, I won't stick them in the vial. I'd rather chew them. I mean, I do large volumes of seeds. If a strain does well, I keep about 200 masters off every seed huck. I'll keep 200 of the best looking, most solid, dark beauties that I can find, and I'll put them away. I'll label them masters, and out of those, I will do the F2s. I usually do a pheno hunt of about 100, 150 seeds, and then cull down to one or two, to cull down to find the father and the mothers, the P1, the P2 donor. Yeah, I don't think, I mean, I can do a small clone and I can get 5,000 seeds off of it.
Wow. I've just learned recently, I tested the waters with doing my own breeding. I had an outdoor grow this last summer. And I without getting too much into it, I got these Mexican seeds from Mexico from a buddy, planted them, got this beautiful male, collected its pollen.
Everybody crop within 5 kilometers of your backyard.
I'm on an acreage though. I'm super far from everyone. So I felt the risk was okay. But yes, not in the city, not in the city. This beautiful man would have pollinated everything. But I kept his seeds, and I just recently pollinated a bunch of my own little mothers or whatever just to get seeds. And I didn't even realize how crazy the pollen is, how many seeds I was going to get. Oh. It's unreal. I'm up to my fingers in trimming, and now seeds, like, whoa.
Pollen is a powerful, powerful bitch. You need very, very small amount to make a very large amount of seeds, and it gets everywhere and just kind of lingers in there. You know, these people selling these F1s, limited seed, $700 for 10 seeds. The cannabis community should be burning torches and up with pitchforks at their door. That's not what this is about. That's not what this is ever about. A limited strain is an F1 polyhybrid, and most likely it's an accident. Because when I do a planned breed, I'll get a pint jar off one plant. Only one.
Wow.
I'll get a pint of fertile seeds. That's not counting all the ones that I've trashed that were cream color or snapped in my hands. So that's another thing that we do. I will drop F5s at $100 American, and they'll be regular. Please breed. Yeah. Please crossbreed my stuff into everything. Okay, I don't own.
I haven't yet, but
do it.
They're just how long? They're just mine are just babies right now. My Omuerta.
Hey Luke, what time frame are we looking at for an F5? I mean,
That's
how much time are you allocating?
They take years. You know, we're not.
Yeah.
I'm not rushing through every. I mean, an F5 doesn't become an F because I want it to. An F5 becomes an F5 because it did stellar as an F1. I rebred it. It did stellar as an F2, and people yelled for it to come back. And I bred it again, and it did stellar as an F3. And if it gets to an F3, well, then I'll admit it's part of my mental illness. I'll make it an F5 just because What else am I? You know,
I think the virgins that I got are F. I got something that's an F5 here.
the Virgins are F5s, the Fire Creeks are F5s,
Yes.
the Thousand Lakes are F5s.
Oh yes. Wow. Yes. And you send testers too.
Yeah, so how old are those strains?
With everything.
How old?
I get a lot of people that when we started that wanted testers, and let me tell you, when I started a few years, when you know, I was doing this for fun and games and never thought I could sell a seed, and then started giving them away on social media, started giving them away to Facebook to guys that were in grow groups, and the response and the feedback coming back were holy shit! Like, look at what I got off this company. And look at what you gave me, and it's blowing this stuff away. So I would play, and start sending them out. Now I spent thousands of dollars without recouping anything. This is the first few years trying to get my shit into people's hands. And basically, as long as you would grow them and send me a picture back, that was that money, because I was building my portfolio. So I could convince other guys to grow my gear by showing them the pictures, because real estate in your garden, it's a pretty planned out spot. Guys ask me, why don't you grow vegetables in there? No, because a ghost pepper isn't worth what a cannabis plant is. I don't care for the 2 months it takes me to grow a couple of zucchinis. The 2 months that it takes me to grow a quarter pound is where it's at. That's what I want. I'll go to the grocery store and buy my cucumber. I can't buy that at a store,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you want the best that you can get. And for me, I've some hype. I've gone through a lot of stuff. I don't like to bash other companies. Okay, if I make it, I want to make it on my own, not because I should talk somebody else. So a lot of the failures that I run through, you never hear about. You might see a post on Facebook that I'm starting these seeds, and just whatever came of those seeds. Well, nothing ever came of those seeds. They got culled out really quick.
Mm-hmm.
I go through massive culls. I wasn't always like this, but I've grown weed for 30 years now consistently. So the life cycle is nothing. By this time, I have plants right now upstairs that are 2 weeks away from coming down, a week and a half. Like I can smell them through the yellow leaves are coming. I've got some massive bushes of the next run of seeds to go in there. I've already collected the pollen to do a breed. I'm running out of space. Like you go through a lot of stuff. So it's not a big deal for me to go in there and hack something down at 5 weeks through or 6 weeks through because it's not doing well, or it's starting to show rhodolization or something like that on it. I'll go in and replace it, Powdery mildew or something. Canada, we get it. Room comes down, room gets cleaned.
What do you look for?
Cheers to that. I'm going to grab a coffee.
I said, what is something you look for in a plant?
Male or female?
Female.
I mean, okay, I've got my own likes. I was thinking about this today. Because I knew this question was going to come up.
Yep.
I really like anthocyanins. I really like myrcene. I really like linalool. You'll find a lot of purples in my stuff. You'll find a lot of it, it's being coined the Omuerta funk because it's usually a little bit of gas, and a little bit of purple, a little bit of grapes or blues with a little bit of gas in there. But I like a sativa hybrid. Okay. I like, as we discussed, for my own mental illness, I like to be up. Okay, I like my mood lifted. I like colors to be brighter. I like music to sound better. I like to get into songs that necessarily I wouldn't have been into in that morning. But all of a sudden, I went from blasting Tool to blasting Elton John because I smoked a couple bong hits of a sativa. But the sativa has to be a hybrid. It's got to have enough little back end to keep that raciness off, because I don't want to start going motor mouth, coke, buzz. I don't want to, get paranoid. I don't want to start spending money like manic, which you can easily off a high grade sativa in my condition anyway. Next to that, I really like an indica. The more jet fuel and dark, gnarled, looking like a dead spider, the better. But I can't smoke those every day, nonstop. They'll put me into the couch. So, I mean, luckily, I don't sell any product. I'm a seed dealer. Okay, so a lot of the product I have myself. It's probiotically grown. I know I can't. Not that I'm the best grower in the world. There's a fucking ton of growers that are way better than me. I can hold my own, but I'm not the best. You can out science me for sure. But I find on the market, I can't get much better for me than what I'm growing. It burns whitest. It doesn't cost me a dime. So there's no real bag envy. When I run out, and I'm between, which it's very rare, but sometimes I will run out, and I'll order. I'm in Canada where it's legal, so we have the luxury of being able to mail order. So there's a lot of craft growers that were black market that just set up websites or IG spots, and they are trustworthy, and they ship it through. So I'll usually buy a quarter pound or whatever that's on the market. A lot of the stuff I find looks bomb, but it's hydro grown, or there's something on it that I kind of, it's very few and far between that I can go, this is awesome. It's happened. Sure. It's happened. Yeah, this is fucking awesome. But there's usually, more often than not, there's something about the product that I can go, this could have been better, Did I answer the question or not?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I smoke a lot of dabs.
I was listening.
Sorry, go ahead.
She kicked herself out somehow.
I smoke a lot of extracts. I smoke a lot of BHO just because I do the seeds. So at the end of the seed crop, I'll shuck the plant, and I use the plant for my own medicine. So I mean, I've always got shatters on the go. Not a big rosin fan. I really don't like. I love the taste, love the buzz. I don't like the process. I don't like smashing those little cakes and taking hours to make a little puck of rosin. Live resin, great, but the yields aren't there yet. And I'm just not set up to do stud hash. So unfortunately, to all you carbon haters, I smoke shatter.
Oh, that's what that is. Shatter. I like shatter. I got a pen, but only good shatter.
Only good shatter. Yeah, I would say that's only good shatter.
I missed some of that because I disconnected somehow. Sorry, guys. I just wanted a coffee.
Welcome
I will
back.
say one thing your plants remind me of is old school OG funk. That's what I get from growing your
smell.
plant. Just the smell, that funk you get on the back of your tongue a little bit. That's what I get out of my Thousand Oaks. That's what I get in a different way out of the Fire Creek OG.
I've heard a few times coined the OG funk, and it's
it is.
Oh, so good. That Thousand Oaks.
The Thousand Oaks is beautiful. The Thousand Oaks is true original Oakland Purple Kush, and it's crossed to the Joseph OG, and it's
so gorgeous too.
The taste between the myrcene and the piney on it just back and forth in your mouth. Like every puff, it either tastes like OG or it tastes like Purple Kush, and everybody
so
loves
excited.
it.
I haven't tried it yet.
Oh God.
Only been able to smell it, see it, grow it. I haven't been able to try it yet because none of our Thousand Oaks is out there yet, but I'm growing it at home. So It's gonna be fucking dank when I'm done in about 6 months.
My genetics
You want to
partner's
share
calling me cheesy because I'm smoking Thousand Oaks tonight. So, but hey, what can I say?
Oh, the smell on it.
What was that, Luke?
Have you got the sequel yet?
The
No, I have
Cereal,
not.
yes.
Okay,
haven't.
this sequel is Thousand Oaks' baby sister.
Okay,
if you
okay.
like-
Oh, so that's a heavy one.
Thousand Oaks makes grown men tap. They cry.
I love it.
It's
so excited.
Yeah, it's got a lot of lovers for that strain.
I can tell it's gonna taste so good too. Just like because I would burp the bags on the weekend and just stick my nose in there, and like a lot of people didn't like because all the people don't smoke weed or enjoy weed like I do, and I just have my face in there like it smells like meat and cheese, and I'm like, just so good.
Last year, I crossed Thousand Oaks, and it'll be backwards, but I crossed it with a Gorilla Glue, and I got Lost Pepe from this. And this is a killer. Lost Pepe's is really.
I need it.
It's skunk. It's a diesel skunk. It goes a nice purple. It yields massively. And with Lost
on
City,
my list.
with Lost
My wish list.
Lost Pepe's this year, and I crossed it to my Quetzalcoatl, which is the sweet grape stone. It tastes like blueberry.
I want that
I crossed
one
it
too.
to four, and
Nice.
making it Old City Kush. And this, the male that I totally changed it. The plants I have right now, this is an F1 poly. The plants I have right now are about to go into flower for the first testing from us. This has gone out there already, but I'm about to flower it in-house, and I can say that the vegging plants, they look a lot more like the Quets than they do the Lost Pepes.
Cool. What's that one called?
This is called Lost City Kush. This is in the
Lost City
2021
Kush.
set.
I'm just writing out my wish list, Luke.
I'm always working on stuff. Unfortunately, the website is falls behind because I'm the one-man guy. I would much prefer to be talking to people in email than doing back behind maintenance gear, So one night I've got to put everything aside and actually sit down, punch in 6 or 8 hours on the website, but it's not my favorite thing to do. So
yeah, the tech stuff, me neither.
So how do you come up with the name?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I'm a big history buff, so I don't watch a lot of TV, but I'm up all night and I'm watching documentaries, and I'll go through little phases. For a few months, I'll watch everything I can on Mayans and be right into the Mayan lore and history and looking up, different cities' histories. And I'll hear about something in one story or a documentary on the Mayans, and I'll go down the rabbit hole. I have a very addictive personality, and instead of drugs, I try and replace it with not knowledge but culture. I like to learn a little bit about everything, and everything really interests me.
Yeah, I think we have the same entertainment pattern, Luke. Me and some friends are very, very similar to that. Like just grinding on different things, World War II, just 360.
A lot of names will come out of stuff like that. A lot of other strains won't. Casey, you were familiar with Jimmy Gamelli from Beyond Top Shelf, correct?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I got a bunch of his packs of seeds.
For us that don't know, can you explain what is Beyond Top Shelf? I'm not familiar with it.
Beyond Top Shelf was a genetic company that a friend, Jimmy Gamelli, owned. He was a great breeder, a young guy, and he passed a year ago last March.
All right, so a
Um,
legend.
a legend growing. Yeah, he had a lot
Yeah.
of respect. He was truly a spark. You know, he would make everybody laugh. He had a lot of energy. He was very social. Basically the polar opposite to me, which may be why we connected well. When Jimmy passed, I had done a genetic trade with him and gotten quite a bit of his stuff. Quite a bit of his stuff is in my gear with his permission. When he was alive, we did Bad Hombres as a excuse me, as a collaboration, and I sent him back half the seeds. And I'm not sure whatever happened to those. I sold out of Bad Hombres, and they were a hit outside. Right now, they're being rebred. So we did another strain for Jimmy called Icarus.
No bad hombres here.
Those are all you got all those bad hombres, Casey?
No, they aren't bad hombres. No. I have.
So I was going to demand one.
Rainbow and Warfare, and Bazooka Joe, and those are all his old ones.
I've got some of the Crunch Berry lines and some of the Cube line.
We'll talk later.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a bunch of his Cube lines still. The Bad Hombres was into his Cube line, and Icarus is now into his Chemical X, which was an extremely limited. And this is going with the names. Icarus has the meaning. Icarus is the Greek mythology for the boy who flew too close to the sun. Icarus was a boy who was placed on the island of Crete as a prison with his father. And he was never getting off. His father had been there for years. And one day, his father said, go around and gather up all the feathers that you can find from all these islands. And with wax, he stuck feathers all over Icarus and made him a set of wings that he could escape the island. And Icarus was so happy. He flew off the island. He took airborne, and he was so happy he rose higher and higher and higher until he flew too close to the sun. And the shine from the sun burnt his wings, and he fell to the earth. So Jimmy was such a spark when we talk at night, and he's one of those people that you can go back in his track record and you just can't find anybody who has a nasty word to say. Not one bad, meeting, nothing. And I thought he truly deserved to be amongst the best. And unfortunately, he'll never get there. So I do things like this. 72 Virgins is also, if you go to my website, it's dedicated to my mentor, Mike Trico. And Mike just disappeared. He worked a lot. He was sick. And many years ago, he just disappeared. His Facebook is still open, but he's never been back. So it's assumed he is MIA. And yeah, if I can do something to help these guys' legacies, I think it's what they would have wanted, because it's what I want. When I could sell femmes easily. I don't. I sell F4s, F5s, males and females. Grab a male, breed it into whatever you can find, because long after I'm dead, if Casey's daughters, kids, go into a room one day and into an old bureau or into an old dresser, and they find an old Altoids tin with a couple of brown seeds on it 40, 60 years down the road, and put water on it of one of my creations, and it grows again, it's my legacy. You've given life again. I cared so much about what I do that's just the ultimate. when I'm dead and gone and the money's gone and everything's spent and no one is saying your name anymore, somebody who might not even know you fucking existed may drop a drop of water on a seed. All of a sudden, your legacy grows again. So if I can scatter little pieces of wood all over the earth, it's kind of egotistical, but yeah, that's what gets me off. Sorry.
Not
I
egotistical
dig
at
it.
all.
No.
And yeah, Jimmy was an awesome guy. You know, Jason's who introduced me to Jimmy, and he's who introduced me to a lot of people. And I mean, he's being a dickhead in chat right now, but that's him. But what are you gonna do?
I thought that might be someone you
Yeah,
know in there.
that's Tri-State Glass. That's who I tag in every single post, because I mean,
Yeah.
I know that man. He has given me a lot of genetics, a lot of seeds. Can't repay him enough. He's a good shit, but
There's a lot of good people in this industry, and there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of fucking, I don't know you, but I've heard something about you. Gonna poke fun and try and knock your pillars out and make you fall. Well, guess what? I've been at this for 20 years. I've had a lot of motherfuckers try and kick my pillars out. It ain't fucking worked yet. So
No.
I am worse on me than you'd ever be to me. And you can take that to the fucking bank.
Yep. No, I mean, that's why I respect what you do genetic wise. It's a work of art what you do, and it's an honor to carry your genetics. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I do things a little bit different, you know, but I'm doing my own thing and I'm not giving a shit what anybody else is doing. At the end of the day, if people like what I'm doing, they grow my gear, it performs, then they'll come back. Now, I've seen some pictures from licensed production facility, and those plants look pretty goddamn good. I don't even believe those are F5s. So
These plants, at least at my facility, they are thriving. And even when they aren't thriving, there's some serious stressful things happen to some of these genetics when we first got started. And not a fucking hermie ever.
Not a banana peel.
Never. Like crazy. I can't even tell you what out in public what some of them went through, but Jesus, that's why, like, I worked with them in mothers. I hadn't even seen them in flower yet, and I knew I wanted these. I ordered strains for myself, not smoking them, never heard of them. I just worked with them strictly in veg, and I fell in love with them. The smell of them, the growth of them, just everything about them.
The work has been done, and if anything questionable is out there, it gets caught in testers. Going back to what I was saying in the beginning years, we're sending testers to everybody, losing thousands of dollars. Now what I do is I send everybody who buys, I send them a handwritten thank you card. I send them their pack of gear. If they buy 2 or 3 packs of gear, they're probably going to get something extra in their package as well. I send everybody testers, labeled testers. You grow out the testers for free, and then you'll get back a hold of me and tell me they were good, they were crap. If they were good, we go on. If they were crap, sorry about your luck, they were a tester.
My testers have what's the TT? It's I know it's Thousand Oaks crossed with TT, and I know you've told me before what it is, but I forgot already.
Time travel.
Oh, right. Time traveler. Those guys, like, I had a serious thrip problem, and so most of the seedlings I popped of yours, and I only popped half of them, got killed by thrips, just because as I was getting them off the big plants, they saw the seedlings, and I should have put them in another spot. But anyways, the strongest survived, and those ones, I have 4 of them versus I popped all the same amount, 5, and I have 4 still of those, and 1 of the Sericlo, 1 of the 72 Virgin, and 2,000 Oaks made it through thrip Buggeddon. So some strong testers.
We try. Like the worst thing that I could ever do is receive an email that somebody says I'm 5 weeks in and fucking they've hermed their seeds everywhere. Okay. It's happened once. I pull the line and I backstep totally because I've got 200 of the F4s or I've got 200 of the F3s, you know. What I tell people, anybody who wants to hate or whatever, look at the track record. People will tell you, and this goes for all walks of life, this is for anything in life. A person will tell you what they want you to fucking hear. They'll paint you a picture of the colors you like to see, okay? But they can't hide their history. They cannot hide when 10 years backs up behind them. There is a fingerprint, a footprint, and a track left. Look at that track record when you're dealing with these companies, when you deal with anybody. If you're buying a car from somebody, for Christ's sake, you know, in the old school days, we used to vet people. And maybe I've still got a little bit of the old school in me because that's the era I was raised in. But yeah, I'm me. You ain't gonna change me.
That's a good
Just
attitude. I think we all have that attitude. That's probably why we all get along so much.
It comes off arrogant, but I at
I
this
don't
point,
think so.
you know, I understand.
It doesn't
I'm
come
not gonna
across
be
arrogant.
this type of people.
It just means that
But
you've
that's
reached
my
a place where other people's opinions aren't affecting you. You judge yourself for what you do, and it really doesn't matter what
They
anyone
do
else
that,
says or
you
thinks. It's
know,
none of your
because
business. It's none of my business what other people think of me.
you know, it's the old anxiety of what's going on in the
Yeah.
chat. So, but I'm an open book, and
Dude, you're getting all sorts of love in here. I'm following along here, and you have some homies.
Fucking,
You got homies in here.
you know,
You know
I'm
what?
not
Actually, you talked.
so
You talked to us a little bit on the Zoom about some of the history, like where you kind of your grassroots and your. Do you mind talking a little bit about that for like the viewers? I find that so fascinating, and I didn't get to hear all of it, and I want to hear more of it. And it's like, and I'm a Canadian. I'm a Canadian, and I've just come into this cannabis industry in the last 5 years. I'm such a noob at everything. I don't know most of the OG people. Like, I feel like that's a blessing for me almost, where I can just come in and I'm learning everything. So I appreciate you forefrontly for your teachings.
Well, before Canada was the land of the free and home of the weed like it is today, and legal and everybody doing it, and it was accepted. It was pretty brutal here. You know, jail terms, we had a 5-year mandatory minimum. If you got busted growing, I think it was over 25 plants, you were getting 5 years in a penitentiary. At that time, I was doing jiu-jitsu and just coming into my mental illness. Going doctor to doctor, therapist to therapist, they didn't know what the fuck was going on. I misdiagnosed, just getting pills and pills and pills, and switched to these pills. It made living not very fun, not very wantable to do. And I was growing because I smoked it recreationally. I wasn't a drinker. I've never been a drinker. I don't like the taste. I'm a very easy drunk. I'm a fun drunk. I get, you know, and make people laugh, but I get sick and I can't handle it. And the next day I'm just fucked right off. So I don't drink. I've always smoked weed and always grew it, had it recreational. Well, after I went through a divorce, went through a really rough divorce. And my wife actually met another guy and kidnapped my child. So there's some more loss. You know, it's just a lot of loss compounding. through my childhood, adolescence, up into adult. And I left, had to sell the house. I had some gorgeous choppers, 2 of them, had to get rid of them, had 3 dogs. It was me and 3 dogs. I was working at a job I fucking hated. And now I was going through a divorce, and basically I had just had a child, and my family, now that they weren't in contact with the child, wanted nothing to do with me at all. It's my fault. They didn't have grandbaby around, so we have no use for you. So just kind of wandering around Hamilton, I met a girl, and we went on a date, and she wanted to go to an expo. She owned a tanning salon, and she wanted to go to some health expo, and it was called a Treating Yourself Expo. And we walked in, it was basically weed show. It was like the first of the weed trade shows in Canada. Okay. So I met a guy, and he started showing me what weed could do, like actually medicinal. So I kind of started drinking the Kool-Aid a bit, because I was an athlete at the time. I was aching, and this started taking over my purpose of life. This started giving me something to do instead of being at home, fucking looking at my shambled of a life. And I got harder into the growing and the learning. And these guys were dealers. Obviously, they were going on to help me pay the rent, which is why I was associating with them in the first place. This was in the days of the black market, where everybody was making money where we could with product. And I started hanging out with that crowd. We have things called dab lounges here. They're bars, but they don't sell alcohol. You go in, you spend $5 to enter, and it's basically your private membership for the day. And you can bring your concentrates, and they'll rent you bongs or, dabbings or whatever. So we built a couple of those and worked in some of those in Toronto and some of those in Hamilton, and going to the parties and working in dispensaries. All of a sudden, the big push was there, because we're getting our doors kicked in, and the medical marijuana access regulation program was going on in Canada, and they wanted to shut it down. And that's for anybody who had cancer, anybody terminally ill, anybody with a disability that had their federal grow license to grow their own.
Did PTSD, did that classify back in those days?
I don't think it did, but my in was chronic arthritis and fibromyalgia.
Yeah, I wondered how they felt about mental illness.
Yeah, they didn't like it at the time. I mean, this was very hard to get to doctors. I told you, there was very few and far between. I drove 2 hours out one way on the highway to find a doctor I had never met before. I went there like 7 o'clock at night. It was pretty fucking shady. But there were doctors that were renting out hotel rooms, and they had lines around the whole hotel, like full parking lot around the block and up, of 700-800 people, all paying $500 cash, and they'd get signed. And it was just a give us dollars for plants, basically. So some people's plant count was crazy. I mean, I had heard, I'm in Ontario, but I had heard rumors of people paying big bucks, $5,000, $10,000 to fly out to BC and get signed by these doctors for $400, $600, and make their money back in one go. And this is what was stemming. Now the government and the police didn't want this continue. Obviously, nobody needs 400 fucking plants for one dude with cancer, right? But this is what was happening.
Juicing. He's juicing.
Yeah. So, and that's what people would say. I'm juicing it. I'm making extracts with it, whatever. And doctors didn't know, and they just they take a kickback, and they take some money, and bam, they sign them. And it was the Wild West. There was a couple doctors that were just famous in Ontario. Like, these were the 2 or 3 doctors you could see, and it's going to cost you this much, and you're going to go on this day, and you call this number, and away you go. And people were actually charging guys. Like, I had friends that would be like, "Hey, I got a doctor for you, Luke. $300, I'll give you his number." What?
What?
My friend? Yeah. Like
That was like the
this was
start of cannabis consultants or cannabis educators or whatever they're
this was
called.
the start of everything there. So they
That's what they do now.
they tried to shut down the MMAR and tried to take that power out of everybody's hands, and they wanted to end that cash for plants. So by taking the MMAR away, they added the MMPR, which was the medical marijuana production regulations, which meant essentially there was no production. The regulation was you can't produce it anymore. Only government guys can produce it. Government guys will sell it to you by mail. They'll charge you $360 an ounce because they're charging you $15 per gram all the way up. They were irradiating it. They were sending it through a fucking
Who are these
machine.
government guys? Like they chose government guys, or so they existed back then?
Yes.
And when the MMPR or
the
MMPR,
only ones that existed: Med Relief, Tilray.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay.
The Hershey Chocolate Factory.
Afri is a big one. Canopy is a big one.
Those are all even. Canopy Growth was around because they owned Tweed, but it was
yeah. Tweed's under there. They all have branches.
Bedroom or something like that. Bed Can or something like that.
I don't know.
And there was a few of them.
Yeah. Okay. I had no idea. Knowledge bombs.
Yeah. These were large licensed producers. And what they did was in the regulations of the MMPR, they wrote, you can grow cannabis if you're legally licensed to do it. But you have to have 24-hour staff of security guards. You have to have camera systems. You have to have a $3 million vault door. Like they made it fucking crazy. They made
impossible.
It like you have to have like $30 million in overages of insurance and all the shit. So basically the little guy, there's no fucking way you're getting that.
Yeah.
Only the multi-billion dollar companies, big pharma can get it, which is where these can. Tilray, Tweed, came from. None of them had any foot or any knowledge in cannabis whatsoever. Okay.
It's still like that, man. Sorry.
A lot of them. There's I live right in the Green Mile there, and they were doing pansies in St. David's hydroponics for all the Home Depots across Canada, and now it's cannabis. Like
all the pansies
for 20 years, and you're just gonna switch to female fucking cannabis clones?
Yeah, when I worked, the last place I worked at did cucumbers and then cannabis.
Yeah. But you're seeing it in the product. I mean, the government of Canada, they're licensed producers. We're destroying something like 30 tons a month that's sitting in stockpile, excess of 6 months. And it hit 6 months or 1 year, whatever it is. Don't quote me on the time, but whatever time it is sitting in excess, they come a time where it's a shelf date. They have to burn it. Well, every month they're burning like 30 tons because nobody's buying the fuck.
Yeah, especially the big factories like Aurora, Sundial, Canopy.
It's all brown or kind of green. It all kind of smells the same. It's all kind of tinny.
It's awful.
Kind of has black ash. So yeah. But
and
at that
back
time,
to it, sorry.
They wanted to cut off all the grows and basically have us buy it. Well, first off, a lot of people that did have their medical license, they were the lowest fucking on the totem pole. These people were on disability or welfare. They were infirm, so they couldn't work on some sort of supplemented income. Well, that means a lot of them don't have credit cards. A lot of their credits are fucking shot because it's the first thing that goes before you go looking for a handout like a disability or a welfare. Okay, is you run your credit to shit because nobody wants to go like that. So a lot of them didn't have credit cards to even order. Next thing, if you're somebody fucking bad pains, chronic fucking illness, and you've got pains, and you get on your computer with your pay-to-go credit card, and you order your quarter for $80 Canadian, and it comes 4 days later in the mail, you're in pain now. What's to stop you from opening your apartment door, going 3 doors down, knocking and asking for a joint from your neighbor? Now it's illegal. Now it's trafficking. So the Canadian government was setting people up to take a fucking fall. So I said, fuck it. I signed on to a class action lawsuit for the Canadian government. Okay. I essentially joined up with 120,000 other Canadians with their grow licenses. We sued the Canadian government and said, if you're going to make me, they wanted on, it was April 1st. They wanted us to destroy our grows, take all our plants, put them in, smash them, put them in kitty litter, in a fucking wet kitty litter in a Glad garbage bag, and put it at the fucking curb for the garbage men to pick it up. That was on the Government of Canada and Health Canada's website, to smash it and put it in wet kitty litter so children couldn't pick it out. Okay. Up until March 31st at midnight, you're allowed to have a fucking 600 plant count. But at midnight, you were to rip up everything in your storage, all your plants in your fucking freezer or your storage, and all your plants living, gone, and start ordering the next day. And we were like, hold on a second. That's turn everybody into criminals or force a lot of people back on to fentanyl, morphine, methadone. So we decided, or I decided, I'd open up a store. And I went right, I wasn't hiding. I went right to downtown Hamilton, 250,000 population. I went right to the downtown strip. I put a sign front saying that it's a dispensary. I put security in there, and everybody that came in had to be a legal patient under Canada law. Now, at that time, while I was doing that, I was also going to parks. I was going to protests. We were doing the city squares. We were literally, I'd hire guys for the day that believed the same as me. We'd go to a park. We'd put up an 8x4 table and an 8x8 tent around us, and we'd sell drugs for the day. We'd have pot and hash and cookies and edibles and everything. And it was pushing the law. Now,
I want to come.
The laws started to change. We got Trudeau elected in the time that I had, which was Liberal government as opposed to the Conservatives. And that shift happened while the dispensary was running. And I sold Fuck Harper weed for $5 a gram. And we had anybody who came in and showed me that they had voted, a little I voted sticker, we'd give them free dabs, free edibles. Like, we made it a big thing. Get fucking Harper out, get Justin in, because he had run on this, we're going to legalize it. No sooner did he get in, my door came off the hinges. I got busted with 20 pounds, edibles, bunch of shatter. I was actually driving a guy to a doctor appointment when they kicked in my door and my phone rang. And I could hear the cops in the background. It was one of my police freaking out, and the phone went dead. So I called back, and they played that whole game. So I just told the cops, I'll come and I'll turn myself in and plead guilty for everything. Just let all my guys go, which they did. I went down, I pled guilty. And right after the raid and the charges, the people that I was employing, paying for their livelihood, decided to rob me. And they hired some bikers. And they went up and kicked in my grow that I was renting out of the country and paying a rent to a place out of the dispensary bills so we could grow our own product. They got it on harvest night. It was literally 6 hours before I was going to go up there and trim it. Everything was taken neatly. They had cleaned me out of all my equipment that had taken 10 years, growing in the little 4x5 tents and selling it bags to buy that light. Like everybody goes through your first couple when you're starting to really say, I'm going to get into this hobby and build up an arsenal of equipment. I mean, I took a fall from grace. I got the fuck out of Dodge. I retreated, and At the time, I was with a woman who was an absolute narcissist. She was seeing how much money the business was making, and I'm trying to rifle the money back into stocking it and giving people, you know, better deals and paying this dealer and paying that supplier. Meanwhile, this place is losing money. We're not making anything. We're losing money. Where the fuck going? Well, I've got the guy who robbed me that I trusted doing the books, and I've got her just fucking siphoning money out of there like a sieve. So at the end of the day, I hit the eject button, and I fucked off on my own. This is where I am to this day. It's been about 5 years now. I stick very, very close to home. I've got a service dog that goes with me everywhere. He's my best buddy. This is the first one of these I've done. Probably won't be doing another one of these for a while. Let this smoke settle here. You know, I am open book. I've been through a lot of shit, and for some reason, I just kept on going. And I think it's that I have some unfinished work here, and I believe it's to do with this plant, but I don't exactly know what it is yet. Maybe the future will tell me that. I mean, it's taken this long to get here and learn some of the things I have about myself. So, you know, I'm not in a rush to finish. I'm not in you know, I go at a very slow pace, methodical pace. It's my pace. So gone are, you know, the Sherpas that may push me off the mountain, and it's day by day. So I'm very, very grateful where I am today. I'm very, very grateful with what I have been able to rebuild. And I'm very humbly grateful to every single person that comes on. I don't look at them as clients. I don't like the word customer, you know. They are supporters, and I am very grateful, and they become part of the army. And from that moment, I don't just take your money. You know, you're in this tribe. We're all in it together, and you decide when you want to leave. You know, this army is your army. If you don't want to be here anymore, then you can walk out the door, and we just thank you for your time served.
I like it.
We're grateful for you to be here tonight. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, this has
That's for
been just smooth. Like, guys, good job.
It's been an amazing learning experience.
It's felt like a therapy session. Actually, it feels good to get some
Me too.
my chest and get it out to the public. And you know, I find that I'm doing something good, and I get that. You know, I get that.
And for everyone wondering, yes, we are giving something away tonight.
Oh yeah, we're doing a
We forgot to say
giveaway.
that. We're giving a
We
giveaway
didn't
tonight,
even
so.
talk about it.
Yeah, I'm up for anything. We can do whatever you guys want. I got a big.
Well, I'm gonna let you guys talk about this giveaway because I learned about it while I was doing things this afternoon, so I'm not really sure.
Hey, Luke brought it up and said, hey, I'd love to give something away to some listeners tonight. And did you think of a good question, Luke?
I didn't think anything. I figured I was the guy with gold, so I was going to make you guys do the work and just say, I'll send it out.
Okay.
I've got a good question.
Oh,
Ms. Movie Girls, would you like to watch the chat so we get a fair answer?
yes. I'm just actually just poking my eyes down right now.
And I guess, you know.
Okay, I'm ready.
Are you ready? This is an easy question if you were paying attention, but what part of Canada is Luke from? What province?
Who's first? I'm watching. What part of Canada is Luke from? What province? What province?
Is that a
Oh,
good question, Luke?
that's an amazing question, he says. Dabs and giveaways. We do have a delay, so the people are on it. There's a
Is anyone
nice
listening?
lady canna grower in here.
There
Ontario,
you
we
go.
got one. Scott Ransom. What does
What is
Scott
Scott Ransom
win?
want?
What does he win?
What would you
Oh.
like? Ask.
Tell them on the website and choose something.
That's the best ever. I should have put my answer in. Congratulations,
Awesome.
Scott. Can I say welcome to
Scott
the army?
Ransom with an E.
I'm writing his name down.
Hey, Ransom. I'll spell it for you. It's a regular
I don't know how
Scott.
to get his info.
Can he email you, Luke? I'm gonna attach anything that you allow me to share in the in the description or whatever. I usually will put like our Instagram, our YouTube, like your email if you prefer not to be DM'd. That's the other thing. Then email you. I'll put that up there.
I don't answer any DMs on Instagram, and I keep it all locked down. There is a couple different Omuerta IG accounts, but they're debunked. I run mine out of PTSD Grower, which should come up Omuerta _genetics.
Yep, it does.
But yes, you have to ask me for permission because you know what, I had an Instagram page shut down a long time ago. And there's too many memories in there to have them wiped away. You know, I've got pictures of my snakes, I got pictures of my dogs, and you know, I run that shit. You know, it's more my own personal page, it's not for Omuerta. If you want Omuerta stuff, the website is where to go. We also run an Omuerta fan page site on Facebook, which you can get in there, and that's where the army is. That's where they're lurking, and they're showing pictures of their grows, and you meet a network of suppliers and all sorts of guys. It's a great force to be in there. So
I need to get on Facebook. I didn't know that.
I didn't.
Yeah,
either.
I don't do the big friends collection or anything. It goes hand in hand with the anxiety. Really, it's my life. I share everything. I'm a pretty open book. I don't have any real demons to hide. So I just kind of like to know who's looking, and I'm not trying to collect every grower or breeder or who's who in the cannabis industry. It really, that's not.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, I don't really care to be famous, to be honest. Just want to supply people with good shit and live my life.
Yeah. Here. Hi.
I don't want to sound arrogant because I am very, 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 very grateful. And this is what I want to do. I just, I'm done with putting myself out there. You know, I'm done with trying to do the YouTube pages and to look at me, and I'm making myself a new nifty name to be a presence, and I'm done with that.
Yeah. You know what though? I see it as an outsider as you've put in your dues. The same way I look at myself when I think about how I'm using my passion to help people in a different way. It's just about the flow and the perception, maybe.
Can you guys think of another question?
Yeah.
Let's give away something else.
More giveaways? Share.
More giveaways? Oh yeah. Elke, you got a question?
What?
You got a question?
Hey, you awake?
If I have a question.
Yeah, we're gonna do another giveaway.
Oh yeah. It was just something
What should we
I
ask
didn't hear.
the chat?
I don't know.
What is the strain that I made for Jimmy to be on top shelf?
Good question. I'm watching the chat here. We did chat about names. and where these names come from. I'm
History
gonna not
document.
participate, but it's hard. It's hard not to.
Oh, I'm biting my tongue so hard right now.
Let's see. Come on, chat.
Come on, chat. What name?
They got that delay, so we'll just let them delay for a minute. I have a sip of my coffee. Thousand Oaks? No.
Nope.
Sorry, Jason Callenstraat. Good try though. He's listening. We were talking about 1,000 Oaks.
Yeah.
And I won't text him because I know his number.
You know his number?
Oh yeah, he helps me in the garden. He's my helper.
Okay, say the question again, Luke.
What is the name of the strain that I made on behalf of Jimmy and Beyond Top Shelf?
They're getting close. Bad Hombres. That was from Dr. Frankenbeans.
That was the first collaboration with Jimmy when he was alive.
Oh, we got OG Kush, Sarah Quell. Keep them coming, guys. You'll get it. You got a tough one. This is a tough one.
I even gave the reason.
I know.
I know.
I know. It's, nope, not
Quetzalcoatl. No.
There's an interesting story behind that one though too.
Oh, I would love to hear it while we wait for the right answer.
Los Pepes.
And Los Pepes?
Los Pepes? No one said, oh yeah, we got Dr. Frankenbean says Los Pepes. You guys don't have the delay. I have a further delay because I'm more north.
And Los Pepes isn't either. It was right between those.
People are all around it though. They're all around it.
It had to do with collecting feathers.
Yeah, Casey's got it.
It had to
Yeah,
do
you
with
told the whole
feathers.
story.
On,
People.
There's my I've been biting my tongue.
Yeah, like I'm gonna guess right away.
There
Genevieve.
it is. There it is.
Oh, okay, we got it. Ed Heffernan.
Nice.
Ed Heffernan had some really nice things to say about you, actually. I've been watching the chat off and on, and this guy knows your shit.
Ed is a very loyal soldier.
I could tell in here. He deserves it.
Yeah, I may have stacked the deck a little bit, some loaded dice.
It was a tough one. You only said Icarus really quickly, so it was.
Yeah, but like if you know that story, right? Maybe not everyone knows that story. You told it really good, Luke. I think you're a natural storyteller.
Quetzalcoatl is a very interesting one too. Quetzalcoatl is the feathered serpent in Mayan lore. In Mayan myth, on the 21st or spring or autumn equinox, the sunlight hits the pyramids, hits Mayan temple, and the staircase turns into this big long snake down the side, only on two sides and only on the spring equinox and the autumn equinox. And the lore goes that on those days, the Mayans would gather, they'd sacrifice tons of people, and they'd watch as the serpent, a big long snake covered in blue feathers and flying, went across the sky. And if it went across the sky, it would bless their crops, okay? Quetzalcoatl didn't want to see all these people dying in his honor. So he came down, and in trade for them to stop human sacrifices, instead they started offering him offerings of burnt incense and baskets of fruit. In turn, he gave them language so they could communicate. So there's kind of, Quetzalcoatl is a very sociable smoke. For me, it's something I can smoke all day long It tastes like a blueberry got on a grape, and this is the offspring. It's a very, very sweet, sweet grape, more akin to like a candy or a blueberry. And it's just very social. It opens me up. I mean, I was smoking Quetzalcoatl dabs before I started this, so it kind of breaks down the barriers for me, and it's a very social. So the whole giving of the language, the burning of the incense and the fruit, you know, I get really baked that night and go through these long fucking spans of watching documentaries, and just my mind sits on it and festers it for days. So
yeah, I like hearing the history of these stories, especially like as you're storytelling them. It has a different effect.
You know,
I want to hear one more.
I wanted to get away from naming stuff after desserts and colors. It's just being played out. You know, you have white everything, blue everything, purple everything, and now, you know, guys are starting to name stuff after ice creams because they've run out of stuff. It's.
Can I ask about another one? I'm just really curious now because I haven't read through all the strains, or I don't remember them. What about is it called Crosstown Girl?
Uptown Girl.
Crosstown Traffic.
Yes.
Crosstown Traffic is made up of a strain called Stone Free. Okay. Stone Free is underdog. The underdog dog cut and shit, what's it called? It's gonna bug me. It's an old strain. I want to say psychosis, but it's not psychosis, but it's like psychosis. Anyway, Crosstown, because it was crossed into a Stone Free as the female. Stone Free is a Jimi Hendrix tune. Crosstown Traffic is a better Jimi Hendrix tune.
Okay.
So yeah, not much, but that was one of my first goes out. I've gotten better since then. That was one of the first original runs.
Awesome. Thank you.
Way awesome.
Los Pepes. Los Pepes is the group of people that went after Pablo there out in Colombia. They were Los Pepes translates to the people persecuted by Pablo. Sorry, I think I've overrun my time. I'm starting to stutter and shit. So,
oh, good man.
Perfect.
All friends. Yeah. And you know what? This is running right into our end time anyways. So we have drained you of your stories tonight. Yeah, so we appreciate it.
Me for all my energy. I'm saving it up as a little bit anxiety all today, waiting for this. And now it's done and I'm spent and I'll probably go sleep. So thank you.
Yeah, you earned it, dude. So we just want to say thank you for joining us. As soon as I exit out of this live stream, it's gonna end everything because that's how we roll. So it's a technical thing. Anyways, I just want us to say our goodbyes then. I appreciate the live chat being here. Connect with Luke to get your prizes. That was fun. That was awesome. Thank you for those prizes, Luke. And I'm Miss Nudie Grows. You can find me on Instagram at Miss Nudie Grows, or here doing shows sometimes. Hydro Hustlers is once a month, and it's the first. You got it. Okay. And back to you.
First Wednesday of every month.
Can I throw in a couple things as well?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to thank you guys both for having me on and giving me this platform to kind of connect, explain myself, and just get a little bit more eyes on Omuerta and what's going on. I want to thank Kendall and Stephanie at White River Grow Pro in Vermont. These guys have backed me. They have supported me. You know, Omuerta is not just me. It's a lot of people that have helped me along the way and support me and put their necks out on the line by recommending me to their clients and their friends to trust me. So I thank them. I want to thank James at Seeds Here Now. I want to thank Rob at Seeds Here Now, Dusty, the whole Seeds Here Now crew. There's about 15 of them. We're very strong. Seeds Here Now, I've never had a problem with. They're very honest. They're very trustworthy. And I love being part of Seeds Here Now team. I thank Alan at Grokashi. I want to thank Tim for doing my fan page on Omuerta. And I want to thank the soldiers because this is your army. We just build them. Thank you. I'm done.
Oh, that was beautiful, man. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging those peeps. Thank you for your time. Casey?
I got nothing to put on top of
Yeah.
that. Thanks to everyone. Thanks
Yeah,
for
this
checking
was
us out.
great.
Don't forget to hit that like button, and we'll see if
Yeah.
we can do a better show next month. And I don't know how to
Alki.
upscale this. Sure.
We love you,
Alki?
Alki. Hopefully you're
Yeah.
gonna get some rest here.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm also
Hey,
tired.
man.
I really enjoyed listening to Omuerta's stories, and I was just sitting here vaping and enjoying seeing chat, having a good time, and yeah.
Thank you. Nice meeting you, buddy.
Yeah, it was definitely. Awesome. I didn't know many of the strains, but I felt like I asked a question when I was totally clueless. Also for the other people in chat, but yeah, I can't wait to pop some of them seeds one day. I gotta have a pack over here somehow, but yeah, I just think I'll just shout out the old host and Spartan Grown and whoever else in chat.
I saw Spartan.
My sponsor is always Playground. And yeah, I can't wait to see you next time, guys.
Okay, guys, with that,